Honorable Bokode.
Nyamiadum Obi now also.
Adumia. You studio how does it mean who had one?
The view in fact multimedia crowd no say this is the first time
I over wow but say bibia boko ahoden wo ho
nyamiadum bantuma for ho bibia boko
edanyamiase me share all pictures of apro wabo na nsen nsuo etotoye no going round visiting areas I will call you know Bibi shock were you surprised at Neoma who here?
The kind my fa in Chama was chief for.
How much also?
Na Nichichu, me am a constituency for. Yes, I me by me party for be polling station executives. You know, many I just said me back with studio. I'm so studio is very popular. Because we be a frame so much to say me back. And you know, we need to Juma pa. Juma modern bar obo when you crew or more nyina. So my champ party for me constituency for nyina so o bantama ni kuma se man nyina. Now busa say me call a pro no ba pro no me hu bibia na me won na. There be. Na enoma me hu no on the ground no na nya de am. The kind no Adebakwa yakwa ebi hu ye.
Yeah.
And he said you want to be bria ma floods no and a flood in eba no. Ye ni e wo nyoma bi on the part of officials and on the part of young citizens. Now, me person can start by talking about a new ma flood, you know.
A flood in the bar.
Now, come da ko you baby
okay.
And if we are see away, if we be climate change. No. Emma say be and let insure a better and insure a better china. Can maybe a criminal, Kabu say we are June, July, the beer insure better, insure to this the volume of rainfall ever. But we are necessary. Oh, honey, so can see be actor. I'm our now crowd say oh the most robust infrastructure crowd now. In soon to me funny na. Anything na ohwa the bit say America. One is to be actor. Now they are to yenchem kese abroad Germany.
Yes.
You see America say in you have to tower krobi so Australia, South Africa, Bangladesh. And India, ama atoyan chem kese pa na atom sisi America say. Jemi ye climate change no, ene de oye ho hwia enye yi. Ho so climate change no kra ihwe East Africa say baby kra say drought na esi ho. Ama omo afusem kra no enkoyie. Na say me call Morocco. We do ono me call meeting na insuo to. Omo ka chem say insuo to it means a lot to them. Because almost 3 years in issue and toll. And you know, so these natural disasters no and no we are who are in sometimes in subi kasibi tall ha yana eden, especially in a bibi more infrastructure no a war form. And you know kahon and a ma flooding neighbor. The backward kahon I am a flooding bar and they say solid waste. We do because solid waste. A fin, a good drains. Me call bar problem. Who say a can't be pa and a ma flood in the bar. Na nenya dia emo. Because this is not the first time I me bar pro. Even me am a constituency crowd no more be a me too on honey ade. I mean him say a fin to good room, a good drains no. They tossed me, I wasn't surprised again because I did a question. I'm flood in the bar. I said, yes, structures along waterways. Obi, ye shishe especially those of us who are planners. Answer the community be a better trainer. You can say if it be planning scheme, and I say land use plan. I sit down see commercial center or hospital or na ha de you can see sit down because ho insu there may be a ho insu bia no so we sit down or a block insu no normal flow no it insu to na a yiri afakro ni because the normal flow no ya block no insu to ya me call Sakomo no we say anopapa insu so ase to na minu apanyin Carlos MP or frame enti me ko hwe na hu se Sakomo no lagoon no any right by the lagoon so no there's a Ramsar site a reserved area you can say ye development be all but call mu say along the banks of the lagoon and the Ramsar site no ye development be bre o it is
ko for see
dan enti insuo no to a eni babia say insuo no fa ni nyina ya block no enti no wo hwe kra na maybe on ti no kra no you can see say it's a flat plane ni kwasi esi dan ho no na san nyoma we esi na me call apro ni nyina hu say no eno pa na akoso flooding na edi nya
sisi
e won kra hane other parts of the country no enti no to answer your question no anya me mama
the enti wa ma ye hu nioma the flood but ne be your attitude and human behavior ne ya be nso ye putting in place proper infrastructure bit me adjust the volume of water eba city emu. I know, and I think the president alluded to this fact about a day or two ago. Tema said not buying since 2017. I committed 450 million to more flood prevention program. Why do we still have the flood? Because 450 million and yes, sikaketwa. Sikane call what projects now come?
450 million. Yes, me say. Me MP baako kra no NDC me contemporary at KNUST.
Yes.
No kasa me mechichi. And the government spent 200 million in 2018 flood control program and also 250 million in 2020 flood control program. Now kasa is kind of fine. In fact, sa 450 million a nyoma bebre but intimi nyoma bebre nso because infrastructure here or drainage no way more than 450 intino that alone cannot solve the problem but a major improvement now busa say a dead and nyoma na hu ya bia yam wan na say nyama ade ba ko a misa hu ya ni say baby are buying especially the MPP are buying under a flood control program no a huge investment no you who say flood now
really
yes
I know you're here fast no
oh baby I can call a year half records to show you where my send the video because is here honorable Patrick Bowman the constituency and what they send me a baby flood drains or
okay
I say is this something that you can play on
or the better Jackson the better Facebook
baby no insu to no containing insu ni nyina and a dey call
in the way time and insu to and say or this the video you sent away drainer insurance near is a black be enam
exactly yeah in the kasansu we say nyina no enka atena fa kro mu nyina and this is a new drain na a bio hodada that na there was no concrete around it but we see you something they call concrete drain widening and deepening it to ase near cementing near widening near the concrete near iron rods purely civil works. It costs a lot of money because cement any iron rods and
we're not a part of more flood prevention program.
This is part of the flood control measures that he implemented as part of the money. Make come once a Now, 450,000 is across the country. I can give you a lot of these across the country that I want to make reference on. For instance, Kwesimintim. Where we are, Miss Away bit me a capture, Kwesimintim drainage project. I know not drains be any.
Okay.
It is in soon to because the drains were on a channel nina to
Eddie Firm.
I'm intimate. That particular place near I don't want intimate flooding. But what happened, they say, because you need to can be brave, you'll be winning in and yet adequate.
Yeah.
And Sikano, or honestly, the bet twice. Because we say I anyhow. One here now in Sunitopi in Swa, once a baby intimate, because a hawk could be narrow. In your deep on so. Now, you know, at the pressure in I could draw. It's the 450 no. It's massive. In fact, I can say it's unprecedented. And yeah, flood control program, no government has ever spent that amount of money to fight. Use government of Ghana's money to fight flood.
To say the Moma.
Yes,
but
it's still not adequate.
Yes, because the Ghanaian people will be interested in the result. At the end of the day, say, Insure tour ever Greater Accra, and over the past 3 days, no, it might be difficult to convince anybody within Accra. Say more interventions, no, a yielding result, because it doesn't look it.
No, this is yielding results. In fact, the thing about these intervention is that say incident to be unhappy now. Not just say there's results, but this one we had the volume of rainfall at toy. Next previously we had the volume of rainfall. Now they compare. What you say the interventions we say abuapa.
Because I can cite one example. Say your friend say Kaneshi First Light. What they call Accra Academy in Nimhono. Nansaya mobile or my project be a drain to expand it. I don't know if you are aware, but it doesn't look like that solve a problem in any way because that area was terrible three days ago.
Oh, I see.
Kaneshi First Light.
I individual projects I cannot because I'm not the engineer.
Okay.
Yes, but I can find out. Yeah, but all the works I show say when you widen it and there's a smooth flow of water in the channels now, preventing flooding. There's no doubt about that. What is important, they say, you bet me any sika, be more of this, and I'll bet me even bigger impact. Since can what be there, I bet me anka is obvious, flooding, so but crack. Especially when we do it and people are not throwing solid waste into the drains, and also clear all our waterways from all impediments like development and structures.
Is it possible, say, within Accra, no, with a Honorable Boama constituency, one project I would even video about. Is there a list of other interventions within Accra? Man for bits me are tested to say indeed. Who saw me drainage we were, I'm in so toy, you know, a Timmy Abwa ate flooding situation, no,
Be Apenkwa community say there's
Apenkwa.
Yes, there's a drainage project that we did.
Okay,
it's part of it. Hacho culverts.
Hacho.
Yes.
Okay.
You see, this one is Adenta drainage. We first name hunting so to hanging a year. Dome culvert drainage.
Dome?
Yes.
Okay.
We're seeing an part of our interventions. Achimotama 7. All these are part of our interventions. Madina Maya Hot drainage. First is saying that until you turn hanging a year.
Okay.
There is an intervention.
Our camera, no, I will say. There's the camera. And it's
yes. Until these are the series of interventions. This are the one I.
Abeka.
Yes.
Okay, when Ɛwɔ honorable ayi conference on. Okay.
It in so first in so to community when nyina na ayi, but we no call you know channel ni nyina to a particular direction. Ama mo nyina ho at all. This and many others across the country. I have a list, a long list. Meet me. For their bro or WhatsApp needs to be
okay. But going forward, no, because you see, and we are in May. Yeah, June, yeah, July, and no ni name Ghana traditionally say a major, rainy season, and kakrana yehu from Saturday up till now, any the havoc are causing in some areas. What's that medium term to long term plan? Say at least by June, July, amount for in Sadi said the past 3 days.
It all depends on the volume. Your volume be or it will be very difficult for our current infrastructure to contain. But given the work we are doing, say the current rainfall urban every year there's a volume be at me twa. Yana and no the highest. The tour not last a year. I'm hoping say that will be the highest. And nobody current infrastructure can control it.
Saturday, the tour,
Yes, I mean say any uncophobic in Jumasem Momoton DNA some transport links were disrupted and all that. But in the Pengu, so what I say. We pray say KCP. The current levels and their current infrastructure can contain. But we are also doing more. You see, I say there are projects going on across the country. Widening, drains now. So there are some places crying a carvet. Won't say now because of increased economic and human activities. No, my carvet near year no be some 20 years ago. Outlive its usefulness. It's become has become the need for us to expand the culvert. And all these interventions are being implemented across the country. For instance, some of the interventions that we will talk about later is on the Odo. For instance,
Odo drain,
June 3rd
disaster.
No. When the experts did the evaluation, they realized that it was from within the Odo basin. And out of that, and government and World Bank reached agreement to secure a funding of $200 million, for instance.
$200 million.
Exactly. They implemented series of interventions.
And on a Garrett Necker Horn.
That is a Garrett project. The Greater Accra Resilient Development Project. Within the Odo channel, it links several other channels in Accra. Neba na befa circle hono. Inti abra in so told June 3rd. Na for a long time na channel no Odo channel ni na no na enwura eni anua. We can say siltation. Na assault amana basoro. Inti the capacity of the drain or that drain reduced drastically. Na intimi fa insuo no nko engogu lagoon no to epon. Atam na lagoon so no I sorted. Unfortunately at that time so no na tide no so no e bo free empo anoba. Intini be share sa no the huge amount of rain and ABC circle area and a cut trigger explosion of the Nkofo Bri Hrio Monko. Inti since then we've been engaging dredging companies to constantly because exactly and since then flooding situation caused by the Odo. And no nank a dangerous by the many pebble wu Accra. I reduce the risk of the flooding drastically. But ni nyina nso so ye sika enka ehu hia se be spend se ke ade anka sabi ye di ehu ni year a ye ntutu ngu ye drains mu ni. Sometimes I send you another video be at show and quite happy in my constituency na insuo to e krobi we friend atafo di my constituency from free bushen let's say wo fa ho akọ bonafo tachima ne sunyane insuo to a ne se yire timi e block nipa be 50,000 at a point in time. I just say my constituency for the ade di omo nya pa na ni nyina nso so ye fin e fin so nya constituency for ni na yi o free baby na eba na ni nyina be hye covet na se enti e ba sa nso ni timi enye ni se na afa ho nyina ne ka bia enti move e ba sa mi MP ho e be di batem sa enso so na enye mia so enti no anyone bebre aye yen say medical car from day one say ye into order. For instance, we are spending a lot of money to desilt, and because it's deep and it's big, it requires huge dredging equipment. And so hoka bebre.
It with O'Donnell plan and say you be cost what I desilt.
Okay, so that is the plan. You have to continue to desilt until say you be more education for people to stop continue to dump solid waste into it. Now the interventions so odin or dot channel na ye no and so be boa bebre ama efini bebre na ebans so better. For instance, as part of the interventions, we are going to build what we call detention ponds within the Kobonya area. 2 of them.
Detention pond.
Yeah. Within the other channel, in soon free mountains more neighbor, a Brie mountains. Sometimes grano obi in so to me talk a Brie, then to Accra, and so not in your flash or a chair be in soon ever. Okay. Inside detention ponds. Na absorb water
no be jinsu
no for some time until a storm no be reduce no na ebi ne kakra na
abefa odonim ko.
Exactly. As part of the Gary project we are also embarking on a sanitation waste management campaign. With that we are very hopeful say no so no be ma waste no so eswate say the be we won't dredge it, continue to dredge it the way we want it.
But we've been told by engineers they say Accra and Kasane because of say a low line, and maybe Accra one in the natural and they prone to flood. And they say you be here maybe or do bear 2 or 3 to be able to hold rainfall free a brie or a sunny eban. Say yɛhwɛ nneɛma and meaning say you speak to the technical people, other stakeholders, and now you Kwabena Japan di nkɔmmɔ sɛ initial formerly no executive director of Ghana Institution of Engineers. Inti organizations are money won't edi nkɔmmɔ. What do they tell you say you be here to do in Accra once and for all to deal with this situation? Now how much and so and also be cost? Oma bibisa, do we know? One big thing I was here, you deal with it me, yeah, nib a car, we are done with this thing.
I think the my TT figures be brave. Obviously, there is an engineering solution to the issue. There is an engineering, and what you alluded to is correct. That Accra is a low-lying area. In fact, when I went on the visit on the tour recently, I went to Odona.
Okay.
You can see it's a low-lying area, and all the so talk it be na it's a low-lying, and for them to live there peacefully without any issue, we need extensive engineering works. For me, it will not make sense for us to pump in that amount of money. And it will be better for them to
relocate you.
For me. And I don't want to commit to figure BCCI because I have not commissioned any such works now. I mean, people say all sorts of things, but I haven't seen a document that says that we need this amount.
Not yet, to fix it.
But there are several feasibility studies that I've seen that requires a lot of money, and drainage is expensive because it's purely civil works, concrete. And all the iron rods, and that's what makes construction expensive. Yeah, but there are several opinions about the figures that is needed.
Figures,
I don't know.
$10 billion.
I don't. That's a lot of money. Yeah.
I mean, you brought $10 billion to fix your drainage problem.
No. $10 billion in.
But enye sika asoman yewo.
She how Debbie.
You need once and for all to commit it and deal with this problem once and for all.
Well, the thing is that you see, as government has a lot of commitments. So government sika 10 billion. People, you have to invest in agriculture because people must eat. You have to invest in job creation because the youth too must find some work to do, and you have to build our roads. You have to. So there are several competing needs.
Yeah, but the challenge is if you commit to building roads, now flood a bar, it destroys.
I agree with you, and I have made this case to government that there is a causal relationship between drainage, good drainage infrastructure, and the sustainability of our roads. That one is there's no doubt. Now, see in Soto, it's wash away many of our roads. Yes, so I've been making proposals within government quarters, for instance, that sika yede kwashe road funding say yenyi bi enfanye drainage. Sika yede sanitation fund, for instance, yenyi bi enfanye drainage. That one I agree with you, and I've been I've been a lead advocate on that since I assumed office, and I was confronted with the issues in our drainage.
Now the trouble, unya good feedback. Everybody are buying into.
Everybody thinks that it's a good. I'm sure very soon we should be able to concretize some of these proposals.
It is the AC ministry. Then it's when the name here a garage project, no, and no matter say it will be for 5 years.
Yeah.
So detention ponds, no. Yes, starting the time being. Do we know?
Construction for detention pond later in the year, no.
Later this year.
Yeah, we should be able to start construction. We've been having some challenges in the implementation of the project because that detention pond, land cry, the better cry, no. We've been going back and forth with Land Commission and Atomic Energy area. Or no,
I was almost in Kwabenya area.
Yeah, Atomic Energy.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are the kind of challenges we are facing, but by and large, we are very soon we come to grips with
by end of this year. Now, our project na shall say.
Yes.
Okay. In the meaning, sir, and no be a medium to long term. 200 million from World Bank. That's why you're ready. For garage project.
Yes. And they are ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Into a free and
this is something that I inherited.
Okay. Okay. In a free summary through June and July, we can say immediate intervention because me say okwa pro nyoma uhu ye no be so obe hu bi.
No.
Of course, you ever didn't come about president directives be our mind, but for more as a ministry, immediate intervention.
Immediate intervention will be to do some certain works along certain channels, which we know that they are a major contributory factor. Also to distort certain lagoons. Sakumono lagoon say, as I say, a distort. Let's say a team. Teshi Lagoon, as I say, a team. Because in Sunni Ba, let's say, in Yambi, a Quagogun soa, forces are the court back into the.
Or I wouldn't say, yeah, team, and you say a team, you're different too.
Yeah, I mean,
more team.
Yeah, well, I'm making a case to government for money to do that. You know what I'm saying? I dare say, I just can't. Me catch you say me kwako team because me sakas can dey me because China me kwako team.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to be very careful with my statements. Yeah.
Okay, and you know, for me part of immediate solutions. The other thing, and it's in the work about drains are I was say a team in the city. Omanpenyi, as part of the speech 3 days ago, no.
It's Enra.
Yeah, Enra. Sorry. Etaske assembly members say, DCs, MMDC say omuni jumebi. Meaning say there, who ministry no na pushy Sadian and I say to go under local government and rural development because one or say buildings in waterways. Say the Walker say one of the major causes of the floods. No, omunshi imungu. Na. Apart from so Mubuegono, he is putting together a team or presidency, monitoring evaluation on Beshe, oversee Sadia way in Yana. A BB a ministry na a pushy for Sadia.
Yes, it's been we have been advocating for that. But we are not going to be the one to be implementing.
Okay.
Ghana, ye lost no. In fact, the District Assembly Local Government Act. She said district assemblies are the highest planning authority in every district. And all these things that you are talking about are part of the planning of the district. It's almost said the act no empower them. First of all, so who be sit down. Won't mean 50 preoccupy now go sit down enkusi. It's so called permit that you can build here. And no, the planning, there's a planning committee who will sit on your request, permit request. No, so I'm sure baby land no wha. No, my say baby ne fantasy see Diana. Into say send fata. Ne say for instance a flood planer.
Yes.
You be catch us there be intimacy.
High intimacy.
But a bit more monkoje. No more almost dying. And na president ka say obi a why say bia no. Yeah, mbugu.
Okay.
Ebu onso a official bi etimi ma permit. Abra na ni kwaso ma permit on that area. And the president can say those people too must be penalized.
Baba, LUPSA, that's Land Use and Special Planning Authority. Under who ministry?
There be
any agency under your ministry?
There be. It's under Ministry of Environment.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
LUPSA no.
LUPSA no. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So them issue permits.
They don't issue the permits. They basically do the planning scheme
of cities and towns. Any other.
A planning scheme based on.
But some town and country planning.
They will do it.
Okay.
But the enforcement of their planning scheme, no,
and
is the responsibility of the assembly. For instance, building regulations. For instance, we as Ministry of Western Housing, we are, involved in putting together the regulations that Parliament also approve. But the enforcement of that regulation is entirely in the hands of the assembly. If you issue permit or request for permit now, a assembly in the SS sitting on now, mama approval, and Tina president, president I directly say assembly making sure say be yes, Diana, any can say CBR because he knows very well, so that's their responsibility. Until the task force now, president, they be seen in office they will be working hand in hand with the local government ministry because they are the supervising ministry for these district assemblies.
But because see waterways, say a cause of flooding, backlash na eba wo ministry, including your humble self. Or level of interest in Sadia way, ebe.
And that is why
we see you on the ground leading and saying, hey, pull this building down. You wait, because you are interested. I
mean, I've been doing that whenever I go on outreach. and to inspect these drains and all that. And I see there are several times that I've had opportunity to tell the assemblies to put down structures. There are several times that I've also written to the local government minister, to the regional ministers, to take the necessary actions to put certain buildings down. I mean, because we have no option in that matter. But unfortunately, I'm not by law, I'm not the implementing agency for that. And the implementing agency is not being directed this time by no less a person than the president himself.
You are a cabinet minister. Some have argued say some rhetoric from our president and your first time I hear it. And because I remember say our predecessor Honorable Atachian was in Parliament some time ago, or Kwanzaa agent questions, he gave a similar solution. So we'll be out there to pull buildings down any other day. Sitting round the decision-making table, how serious do you think the president is taking?
No. You know the president. He's a very serious-minded person, and he wouldn't come and stand before the nation and say something that he wouldn't want to do it. Yeah, so he's going to do it. I mean, tell my all your statement, you know. Now, Greater Accra Regional Minister, and so to honor. But I say, besides saying, Mr. President, do I have the authority to move now? So why not? Yeah, but you see, it also has social implications because be a dan yokobu ne say be osofo panyin bi dia and I say big political figure be and I say ohene kese bi ne ade. So it has social implications, but I'm sure the authorities will deal with it.
But that is where the challenge would then be, because again, say Drew level say okay, it doesn't matter who socks is God. So you're for penny or we are pulling.
So it needs that political will, and that's what I'm saying, that is coming. This directive is coming from the president.
And some political one,
it is. I believe strongly that the president meant what he said.
It is a kwabase a sofu penyi bi dan na ebia onimo wo ye Minister of Works and Housing na odi dwantoa ebreu se koka bi mana obekwa koka bi amana.
I do that, or I forfeit my position, because I can't go against the directive of the president.
In the nyade obedi obi ani makoka bi amana.
Ebedin.
Udru Ramsar site hono e was Sakomo no. Who said development air cost no. Was the management of that Ramsar site, they say under our ministry, right?
Debbie.
And under our ministry.
No.
Of course, okay. Our colleague Land and Natural Resources.
Forestry.
Forestry. Yeah. But development cost wo na se insuo na enye baby ama megina and the flats no eba no. Enti uko hu de hu ye no. What actions have you taken?
No, I told the MP. In fact, I did an inspection with the MP on Carlos. Say on the assembly for Nkasa na take action on. But
social level of development now, in
fact, some of them cry. Most of them are squatters. Squatters need can be a bit now. And I was time, you know, because now I sorry we cry. You see, I sorry be honor. It was obvious to say I sorry this since you mu pay. I sorry dying. It's you pay. Inti you be here, say more border room. Because sadly we say, you know, and our president can mean some kind that it is a shared responsibility. In your dear nipa ba cook because on kwan na holding a base. Mumu bohu the road nessa buy a co so kububo. Bettese. Said the and a gun answers to be near the politics. What we are dying, any better about you know, political figures are always very careful when they are taking very hard decisions. I remember in Kumasi in 2008 when the authorities there at the time taking measures be against drivers and all that. Now I did Puntu Ebeba Kumasi, and so no omo bufui aban at that time, and I'm say and until cry momo to abeti, you know, and on the political leaders, they're very careful when they are taking decisions. But this time, it's coming from the president. And those of us that he has appointed us, we have no other option but to follow that directive.
In Accra, because a national capital, a ministry, a war into, yes, even though oversight responsibility of the whole country, you will be a bit more concerned about the Ekoso ewo Accra. We've gotten to that level in Accra development, we should be deliberate about your green spaces, about baby to say Sir Ramsar site here, a bois, a business mobile detention ponds, Nina with the idea, say, see, receptacles be a bit imagines you. Na Uncle Bubu Nkofwa dying any other. See, as also within Accra, green areas, in Shada and Norso, and Shada and Norso cry. Baby, a year, we won't say, oh, wait, dear, yeah, over here, or some near jury. Dying. Indeed, the whole city is becoming a concrete jungle. You've been following conversation around Achimota Forest and the critical role I play in making sure, and I know engineer Kwabene J. Japan, but some technical terms, those we have plan idea. Now, Kase, Sawoshe City Yimua, baby, I tile, baby, almost the whole city. Concrete, baby, in the ensure your free be percolation. It doesn't percolate into the ground. In the few areas a whole green and what's here maintaining. There seems to be a conscious effort to, at the least opportunity, want to sell. Now, man, fool see a dying a day. Are you worried as Works and Housing Minister?
About what?
About how we are depleting in green areas in the city.
I am concerned. I'm deeply concerned. Because as a planner, vegetation is part of the whole planning scheme. And in fact, that's why I always go back to the district assemblies. Even in issuing building permits, there's something that we call site coverage rules.
Okay.
The idea is that if you are, whenever you are building, you have to leave a certain percentage of the land space in your plot of land for vegetation, for greenery.
Wow,
now could be a fear, baby, I cemented.
A tiny baby,
baby, me fear will come say. Maybe then will form and opposite me, no need them also. No, no, baby, a talent in so no toy. A Horoban horse, not me them yet me flooding. And there is a regulation, a part of our building regulation, that says that we should leave part of your plot for greenery. We don't enforce that. So I'm worried.
And no enforcement, no back to the district assembly.
Exactly. As you said. Exactly. This will make sure. But Ghana has a who are Buchinas who sit down. May have managed building projects in America before when I used to live there. And every step of the process, officials from the local authorities will come to certify before you can continue with the next stage of the process. And say Obane say we design say green renewal. First of all, he won't even accept the permit. He won't give you the permit. Having accepted it now, about green renewal no. Now Obane say it doesn't reflect on what is on the planner. He won't certify it, so he can't go to the next process. So all these things are in our regulations.
But with this background experience, and I'm not making our air say one of the things I wish to see to sit in cabinet meetings, the kind of discussions I hear across our cabinet. For more as cabinet ministers, do you peer review? Do you, for example, tell your colleague, local government minister, say, my friend, the assemblies under you are not working.
Oh yeah.
And Nyoma Waymon and Nyoma will say, Omoye, per me experience, I think we should do this. Do you have that conversation?
Oh, I mean, I have I can't come and discuss.
Yeah,
But as a matter of principle, it happens all the time. I mean, whenever there's the peer review is there, whenever you present a program or whatever, it's you know. Oh yeah. And they're cost of papa.
Why are we not seeing the result? Because obviously, you seem a bit frustrated because. And worried, said well, the district assemblies clearly are not doing what they are supposed to do.
Yeah, a lot, and that is why we implemented the district assembly, the decentralization. A lot depends on them, as far as the development of our country is concerned. A lot depends on them because they are decentralized. A normal be
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Officials at the top now are limited in terms of some actions that you can take. Nti ye bra decided say before organ decided say because decentralization no. Maybe we underrated the extent to which that will affect our development trajectory. And I think we need a conversation now for them to really come to terms with the fact that they hold the key to our development effort.
Colleague, Land and Natural Resources Minister, and may cite you because in the ministry, there was some relation because I don't manage land and forest, and I also works and house and because we assess and all of that. And I say, I'm going to manage in green areas. I'm a flood and any day into me in sea for your ministry to be vast and all of that. What starting move be to make sure say or more ato aban asase in areas enwosan komunya aban asase where especially the Achimota forest obesan I reverse all those decisions. Bibi I will support it. Do you think it is good for our country? Say obesan aban besan asase ni nyina back because of their strategic significance for our city.
Well, is your question in relation to the Achimota forest or all lands?
Achimota forest plus all state lands are that strategic areas on mine bit many home first.
Well, I don't know about all state lands. There's a reason why maybe state land was sold. Okay. We can deal with the specific matters. Okay. But as a planner, I will always be for having nature reserve in the city. And that if it is the case that we'll be at Achimota forest, it will hamper the ecology of our city. Minister thinks that when he reverses it will help her. He has my support.
He has your support very well. And I don't think what will be there. So their own and I will never be able to talk.
Reserve one everyone.
You will be able to talk.
Ose. Na says can ni na you go tell room any have I said there are other places also as well.
Very well. Okay. Inti, let me come back to some of the messages Yensa Aka, and then I'll read some of them for you. Na yetimi atwa so Ekosiisen suni ehaya Asempa 94.7 FM. And this one says, Obi, we have witnessed lot of development at places that are known as wetlands, which will ultimately expose the city's resilience to flooding. How is his ministry ensuring that these unpleasant developments are halted? Or meaning wetlands in the city, apart from Ramsar side, are there other wetlands in Accra city?
Oh yeah. I mean, there are places places swampy.
Okay.
Reserve will say designated as Ramsar site, but in planning terms, we say that you can see down. And I believe that's what he's referring to as wetlands.
But no, as a ministry, more BBM bit my to halt the development because we baby sana.
Well, we can engage the institutions that are responsible for that, and basically is the district assemblies who should protect these nature reserves. Yeah, I mean our mandate to take any action being that but because fire and we are concerned of this flooding, our job in flooding is the infrastructure,
drains.
Exactly, that's our job. But when the drains are not there, not flooding any problem. But to make sure say flooding the man, and that's why we take certain actions like the silting, excavation, and but the other job on it, enforcement of laws and all that, I've already said it's not in our
Obi, I heard the president say that they've constructed about 19 kilometers of drains in Accra. Ask the minister, is that true?
It's across the country, and out of that 450 investments. In fact, some of them are still ongoing. Some of the projects are still ongoing because the minimum starting term, mobilization issues and all that. Some of them are still going. But as at the time, end of year last year, now 19 kilometers of drains, new drains, and also 1,000 kilometers of desalting and excavation works and all that across the country. Yeah.
Would you say Nansaya flat are yehuno, but for some interventions one can be worse?
Absolutely.
Than the yehu Nansaya.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, Obi, ask the minister about the Garrett project. The project has been active for the past 2 years. How soon should Ghanaians, especially those living along the Odo River Basin, expect to see some major interventions under the Garrett project? When will the actual civil works commence under this project? And that's another message on Garrett, Honorable. I think where you are know that, but Nipa is saying Busa say Omua eti along the Odo River Basin, no, that Ben will be major interventions under the Garrett project.
And I make us say by towards the end of the year, now I started actual construction under the project. You see, World Bank funding, na enye better. So a very cumbersome process. Answer na it be release this camera na no me bi higher. For instance, these detention ponds here make us say nya asase cry nya no. Yen settle asase no. It MPD process no. Baby, for instance, one of the key interventions is what they call performance-based dredging works and all. Before Ubetimi started, no, I started the contract administration process and all that. No, so when you baby had dredge materials in yan, you the kwakugu huge land, and then you say ekoyasem, and in your baby and ye no, and ma say delays no, a buy. I think I started rather. But per our program, towards the end of the year, we are starting all this construction. Dredging, say, from July, August, we are sure, because we are going through the procurement processes with the World Bank. And once that is finished, we will to select a contractor who can do that.
But short-term interventions, so I don't know the dredging and I'm because the salting
and dredging.
I don't know, is it happening and I'm started?
Yeah, the kind you be that.
Okay.
You see, and I did a course all the time. But because of increased human activities and the way we dispose of waste now, it has become necessary that we do it continuously. You understand what I'm saying? But Abrebia no ye Jessica ene edekoye. Enti egusuni finance can say be Jessica nka me mo gidie pa say itimi this year, for instance, if you were able to do the sorting in major drains and the lagoons, anka baby a ECC temania de adina anka esobeti drastically. Yeah.
For ministry, is funding a problem for the ministry? And for example, yenim say aban ed in the budget eco parliament through the Ministry of Finance. Ochesika for every ministry. Oshe sasika na eyana majority eco salaries and emolument. Ebibeko goods and services. Ministries be like money scaby for capex, capital infrastructure under the ministry. In Mumu case, situation it is saying.
Well,
it means ubenya budgetary allocation.
Yeah, we do.
It the influence of 450 million I must spend so far. A GOG sika omurizima mo ministry no.
Yeah, that was GOG.
A GOG.
Yes.
It apart from Saskan, the influence of any other major project. I just say donor funded.
Yes, and I say yes, government of Ghana.
And I say government of Ghana.
Yes. Our ministry is not like say road ministry.
Yes.
Or for instance, the road fund. It's a dedicated source of funds every month. Say this amount of money is coming up between a year.
Okay.
We don't have that. We don't have that. So, and that's why initially I told you, say I've been advocating for like
when you are dedicated fund.
Yeah, we are talking about, for instance, a drainage fund that we can say road fund. Sikano be in fact 20%. Sanitation funds dedicated source of funds be these periodic interventions that can
But how about if I argue say you were ABR, because I will share the new tax handles nearby on petroleum now it be a pollution tax, for example. It is our pollution tax, we are told say a chunk back into waste management. Waste management includes desilting the idea cost because we run a call into indirectly, someone your dedicated source of fund be for
but it's not our fund.
Okay.
It's not our fund.
Okay.
We don't manage the fund.
Okay.
So this ABI, we make a case to finance minister say my size can be drainage and that's a baby. Yeah. But where the point I was making earlier and say when we have our own fund and we have dedicated sources. So, when you say this one there automatically comes to this fund. It comes to this fund. And at the end of the day, if say 20 million an hour, say this is what I have for every month or every year. So we can plan with it.
And see, what it means is a major project, capital intensive project, which is sea defense near the Adena ministry. And on funding different.
And also for government of Ghana.
Sea defense.
Yes. And these are specific projects. And I can tell you that these are very expensive projects. And basically to protect the lives and the livelihood and property of the people living along the coast. And the
Keta Diano, the latest year then.
Keta Diano, Yeguso. We have been challenged kakra because of the new Public Financial Management Act, which requires very cumbersome process to access funds. Lately, yes, but that is currently what we are going through to access the funds for the.
At the elaborate process,
there's a new Public Financial Management Act. It's quite elaborate, and the idea is to ensure value for money. Yes, so you have to do feasibility studies and all that. Previously, in the previous administration, that was not done. So, but this time, it's quite a process. And
the Ketadi and Mugusa process.
Mugusa processes.
Feasibility.
Additional feasibility works and all that.
But sitting here, you don't know when exactly the project will start.
I'm unable to.
You're unable to say. Okay. One other thing in Sweden that Ghana for we now come as a housing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, as a ministry, in terms of public housing, affordable housing, even before I say baby di saglemi home common, general affordable housing in our country. Is there anything you can report on? Say, ABR, over the past 5 years, the ministry I take it over. You took over, what the 1 year, right?
Yes.
What the 1 year? In the ministry I take you over 1 year, you know. This and this and this are what we have to show in terms of public housing. Baby Sao.
Okay, thank you. Housing idea here, in fact, your population census, it says we need there's a housing deficit of 1.8 million housing units. Yeah. Now, before you show mukakra, you said, is 60% of Ghanaians here support from government. And 35% of Ghanaians cry there. I buy more support to cry now. On 1% me for my whole day. And it is 35 no. In effect, this is a government a more free accommodation, which you don't have the money now. It's only 5% of Ghanaians who can on their own access housing. Rich people like you, Obi. When I move to me, when I enter the ministry and I look at efforts that governments over the years have made towards the provision of affordable housing. And when you say affordable housing, let me define it so that you put it into context. Yeah. We are talking about a situation where Obi, whose salary is different from mine. Yes. So we say affordable housing when you can spend up to 30%
of my salary
of your salary
on housing,
whether through rent or through mortgage. Yes. Now, Mr. Smith, me spend 30% on my affordable housing. So currently, and I realize, all efforts by government over the years has been that government is directly investing in housing. Where President Kofo affordable housing program here. Hipiska in the education say the affordable housing.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. In the time when you are saying free so now for buy, you know, he didn't have the same commitment towards to it. You know, and you know, financing affordable housing in this country has been a challenge over the years. So when I entered the ministry and I was confronted with the statistics. And I realized there are certain key components in the housing delivery system, like land, for instance, is a very important component. And infrastructure, water, electricity, roads within an estate, and so land cost. And the building materials. You see, I say, building materials. We know very well that most of our building materials are imported. Yeah. And with the current global crisis and all that, you know, after COVID and world transportation costs shot up drastically. Cement work or so, what do you call it? Iron rods and all that. Yes. So I look at all these things and I say, no, there are certain things that we can do
Ekosiisen on Asenpa
ensure the kind of affordable, decent, quality, affordable housing that Ghanaians are looking for. First of all, there are some land, public lands, where government can provide,
give out.
And so the government will absorb that. And also, provision of infrastructure, water, electricity, the roads and all that. These are traditional responsibilities of government. Government, So what we are doing is we are having a private sector-led affordable housing program where government will provide the land.
What you try acquiring the
Canadian as developer. No. So when we have an engagement with you, you come in and just build a house.
No.
Government is absorbing land, infrastructure, and all that. No, can constitute about 80%
of the cost.
And your friend is saying, developer the bar, no what be seen and he's not going to build any expensive ABR. He's making sure say basic so that we can have a situation where a house can cost, still expensive though, can cost up to $30,000.
$30,000.
Decent house.
Okay.
Then we are working actively with Ministry of Finance and other development finance institutions, AFD and the World Bank and all that, to do a mortgage arrangement so that public servants like teachers, like nurses, doctors can spend about 20 years, get 20-year mortgage and even more. So by the time we sign up, say we talk that way, now we shall see it to any monthly year,
and at least every month, say 30% of the salary.
Exactly. So that within 20 years now, at a point now, this is the system that we have adopted, and we are about to start a new project for this program in Pokuase Amasaman. Yes. Asasene daho. So we'll try new interchange now. You're right, sir.
How many acres?
That's about 200 acres.
200 acres.
Yes, that's our new program that they are currently going through the necessary statutory what do you call it? Approvals with Ministry of Finance. Once we start, and this is how South Africa did it. Mandela built about 1 million houses in 5 years. Yes. If you go to Cote d'Ivoire, that's the same program they are doing.
And recently, Egypt and so
Egypt is doing something like that. Then Morocco, huge. And for me, it's not rocket science. Rocket science. And we are drawing from experiences from other countries, and out of that, you've developed this program.
Real estate developers are ready to partner. Government on this, and they are prepared to build and sell at the cost now. Okay.
Yes.
But I also recall, again, I'll take you back to your predecessor, because Ghana for 18 might say, hold on, this might not necessarily be new, especially the mortgage arrangement with the Ministry of Finance. Or predecessor, similar things, if not the same. But how should we be confident in you, sir? In your case,
well, I don't know exactly what my predecessor said, but what we are doing is new in the ministry.
Okay.
Yeah, especially in terms of our engagement with the developers.
Okay.
I mean, for some time, I think there have been efforts to bring some mortgages. Yeah, but at the challenge of our inability to provide a strong mortgage regime in this country, because Ghana, most of our banks are commercial banks.
Yes.
And commercial banks, our main source of income, small deposit, salary, and they are not able to lend long term.
Yeah.
Yes. And that is why when I was speaking to you, I spoke about World Bank, I spoke about AFD.
AFDB.
Yeah, not AFD.
Okay, AFD.
Okay. French development.
France development.
Exactly. Yeah. So, French on.
Kakra.
Yeah. Yeah. They are able to lend long term. Exactly. So that's how we are working to make sure that we get some long term mortgage.
Yeah. It is Obi Busau say honorable. Great idea. Model no looks practicable. A bit to me, but I don't know what's the government focusing on this when there is Saglemi rotting away. Then I'll be catching the Pacrono.
Well, I mean, Saglemi, we are government is looking into Saglemi. And you say Jano, I say. You see, it's a very complicated transaction, and I can tell you that it's before cabinet now. We are looking at various options. Very soon, cabinet will make a decision, and I will be able to make a public announcement. Yeah, but we are looking at.
But that's all court. It is still a subject of litigation in court.
It is, but notwithstanding. No. Yeah, we will go ahead and take a decision and make sure that it's completed.
Has that decision not taken so long? And
which decision?
The decision on the way forward, what we want to do.
Yeah, because I've told you it's very complicated. So we are looking at the end of the day, we want to take an action that will not let Ghanaians be shortchanged. And say prepare. But as I told you, it's before cabinet now, and very soon we'll come to grips with it.
The last video of the place now, it's been completely run down. Meaning say we might need double the amount to fix it.
On
Well, the engineers will advise, but it's better we do the right thing. Yeah, I mean it's not my making. I just assume it, and I'm committed to making sure that the taxpayers' money will not go to waste. Yes.
It is for Ghana for it. You are excited about Pokwasi Amasaman project, no? That being no munche name say rail construction. Besha, what I say, move go through the statutory approval.
And on a delay, Mrs. Say. And it's not something that it's a public private partnership arrangement, and there's a new law on it.
New PPP law
act, and it's quite a procedure to go through, and this is the first time it's being tested. Yeah, if the law in the war, it can be started here and come here.
Housing units, saying how many are you envisaging?
We are envisaging about 8,000 housing units.
8,000.
Yeah, but it will be more of apartments because of it's a prime land. Exactly. So that area, I think, is more advisable to do vertical development.
In the best council flats, maybe.
Well, don't call it council flat, apartment. Council flat there.
That's a council flat. You say apartment, but you say they're making use of
exactly. Yeah, up to 4th floor.
So the 4th floor in Tiadodo.
So what the 4th
prime land?
Yeah, what the 4th? We call a year. By law, you're supposed to provide elevator.
Yes, that's a bit more provided.
And the management
of the elevator.
And also so yes sir.
Akoye bibi
also. Ntina empese be no tintin do no na, you know. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at say ABR first 8,000 no obviously will not be enough. Yeah, can't.
It will not be enough. In fact, enye ebi nso Kumasi. Another 200-acre ladder, and also out of that, we are hoping to have 4,000 housing units.
And also the same arrangement here.
Yeah, but we plan to have single units. Single and yet vertical development. Some will be vertical, some will be also detached and semi-detached building typologies. Yeah, and we are working on. There are several other programs too that we are working on. Some lands to also build some 5,000 somewhere, 5,000 somewhere. It's Kakra.
There is a question here on Saglemi, and obviously when Saglemi comes up. A strike some emotional chord in people.
Yeah.
Because sometimes maybe I watch TV or social media and videos maybe from Saglemi, you're like, wow. I mean, how would any country worth its salt commit monies into such a project? Now, over 5-6 years, edaso ego. What can say a cabinet, and I don't think it's the first time I have a cabinet. It's something that predates you coming to the ministry. But what do you think really is the problem? Like I say, complicated, I agree. But why has it been difficult to crack that problem? No? Because 6 years is so much, it's too long a time.
I mean, if you allow me, let's leave it here. Because there are semi-criminal court. One we are now canceling Bina. And that's the bottom line. Because it's complicated, you're going to have to say this and that. I don't want to go into the detail. The person in Ghana for Etiase, and Brasimu, say I did that Bankumaso, say Ghana Sika, taxpayers' money, and say I will take a decision that will benefit the country.
Rent control department, a department under your ministry. Oh,
yes.
Good. New Rent Act, no. Okay, it's a bill. You're passing into act. Where is it now? When you say a bill, is it in Parliament?
Currently, we are doing a cabinet approval to revise the old bill, old law, which is about 60 years old. Yeah. And when he says 60 years there, and given our current housing situation, and no maybe as a sign, we want to. If I say system kakra, said it can stand the test of time and can deal with the prevailing circumstances that Ghanaians are facing now. So, we need approval from cabinet. We are doing stakeholder consultations. In fact, I received a comment from a very important organization which made very important contributions to the bill. We are not any attorney general drafted legislation. Now the parliament.
Now the proposals we heard about say 2 years, 3 years rent advance will be outlawed. They will happen, right?
Yeah, but it's the current law outlaws. He says 6 months.
6 months.
But you see, we a landlord, okay. And now I buy a mom. I say, won't in charge it if any say 6 months. My bow. Or see there be 6 months and you won't mean to. Now me because a Danny baby why meant to 6 months. Another person etio ono no car with me to no wafa echi akohu landlord say oh so onya crowd there me ma 4 years to cry. So now we're now sure. So these are the problem because we have a huge housing deficit. Renters don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But ukoeno pinsua landlord di wajini danya edena be. No so because me back referral with but the family down mami. So it's a very dicey situation. And that is why we need extensive consultation to come out with an arrangement. Simple matters. So what's your so we school? And that obenya juma pay obenya because and once you 1 month deposit. Now that too, and no it is a who free them every month be an utia. Hanintisa landlords now or or providing the dine. Oh no, he has to pay for his investment. Be a koji loan or the dine. Now I say, 1 month now they are there. Or no tiasi. And because he has a choice, because 1 year we
we might never get to that level. Ibenya a brutary system.
Exactly.
1 month. It might never happen.
Well, it can when we're able to close the housing deficit. And we are looking at the circumstances. Then we are the current constraints. This bill will address the current constraint. Then it will also allow for capital recovery. So the we also need that. It's a balancing act situation.
Only a fear of only come. I've had countless interviews with Greta for all those associations. But around here, an extensive discussion on rent cost in Ghana and the fact that we share the young graduate where we school onye juma also coffee up 2 years 3 years advance at the Kojedai. That's roughly anything close to 20,000 Ghana cedis. It is a huge issue in our country. I mean, from where you sit, no be some information. Only get that for real estate for didn't come out. Our major issue the cost of raw materials. Obviously, we can't airborne so that and imported duties all those things that come up every now and then. Not me stress it because Obia USB one thing I will be who quite and what now majority of houses in New York. majority at least. Uko Worcester,
and because of the climate conditions.
Yes, but the point is,
Oko Florida and California,
yes,
because they have different climate conditions.
Yes.
Normally, you see concrete.
But even in California, you would see a lot of the high-rise boat, because at least from what I saw in San Diego, including my school, I made them in sub-boat.
Yeah. In fact, a friend is saying, has escaped me.
Plywood.
Yeah, plywood. Plaster, they call it plaster board.
Yes.
America, they have a different name for it.
So,
So, necessarily.
Okay. But concrete.
No. But wood is a huge component of their buildings.
And wood, we're high in abundance. Can't we have a rethink around how you see a dying in this country? I bet you make good use of your new raw materials to bring the cost of our.
I'm with you. I'm not even looking at wood, because wood also has its own issues when it comes to I'm not even looking at wood, but there is bent bricks. Bent bricks.
Bricks. Netia kokoni di trap way. Okay.
Na no cement woman ebi kura cement ni. Na wood is here, Diane. You don't need the paint. Maintenance cost is zero. And I said, because of say it's in clay, no, would you see Diane? Ushima. There was several advantages. Mr. Ekosiisen, golden project, but Ghanaians, many of us do not accept it. Into money, into me, you say. Naka ade aka ya accepting nka yedi dan naka nipa bebre yusu a, it will encourage production, not mass production instead of
but what would we do to get people to make it a mainstream thing?
I've been advocating, and in fact a couple of weeks ago I met with certain players in the industry, and we are trying to do a stakeholder engagement to get Ghanaians to use that product.
Now some more planners and engineers. Now you say you're building codes. You'll be a friend of building codes. At least from the little I've heard about that, no, in the Ghana and Kasasa country we have our building code. In the name say you see Diana, I was said Diana height. One of the issues about with Saglemia, Diana, height crack contractors, they see Diana, into we know see a code. Can't we have something in that code to say, Maya, we decide what we want to do. In the end, no, say you see a dying tenor, I will say most 6 bent bricks. Can't we do something like that?
I don't know, so if you can put that in the code. Code it has to do with technical specification for various building materials that you can use, but it will not. It doesn't say we're not changing material. That has its own implications. Yes, that has. For instance, our new affordable housing program that we are doing, I'm insisting that at least 30% of the raw materials must come from local. Exactly. The idea is to kakra. I've spoken to Ministry of Education. Spoken to the Minister for Education, the Honorable Educhum, for instance, and I told him that the schools now are building. They should make sure that we use our bent bricks. Apart from all the other advantages, even the ambience, to have this in our school community. Exactly. I've spoken to the Honorable Ajimamenu Health Minister that the cheap compounds now,
bent bricks.
The idea of all this engagement that I'm having is to let Ghanaians develop the taste, the interest for it.
And can we say the state-led affordable housing project,
I'm insisting on that.
I'm
saying about at least 30% must come from it.
Why shouldn't it be 100%?
Well, I mean, somebody can also come and say, honestly, what technology is cheaper than that. So why are you compelling someone to use this? So, but at least as a step, And I be no way I saw incremental process. So when yes who say baby inquiry and what me correctly easily. Yeah. So I'm insisting that at least 30% must be burn brakes. Yeah. And I've been advocating since I've visited many sites where they are producing these burn brakes in Ashanti region, in Central region. Clay.
And can't you? Because I know, sir, your advocacy skills then are there was but say at cabinet, no, can't we mainstream it and say new ministries building a UBC, new department agencies buildings a UBC, Yamfa Ben breaks in see. Those are government of Ghana.
It's an idea project that we can is worth considering. Something that is worth considering. I can look at it.
Well, say Obi, good afternoon. I am a developer in New York, and I want to give back to my country, Ghana. If the government can make cheap mortgage through banks, I can assist to use the youth who are unemployed to get jobs through this program. Jones, general contractor, New York, or the number account. Maybe I'll forward that number to you.
No problem.
Moneno Eddie and Komo. Say Obi again. There is nothing complicated about Saglemi housing project. It just proves the savagery of democracy. No country got developed by the kind of democracy we are practicing here in Ghana. Saglemi being left unoccupied after 6 years is a big shame and a blot on our conscience as a people. Look, President Mahama didn't use his money, his personal money to construct Saglemi. He used our taxpayers' money. Why? That's Dr. Dakwa, or a medical doctor in Washington, D.C. And he sent me, okay, I'll say, Obi, please ask Honorable Asenso-Boakye that where is the Public Works Department? And also the department under your ministry, I suppose.
Yes.
Or see, years back, the PWD were apt and very up to the task in such situations as floods. Or it has also been bequeathed to, okay, that's on a lighter note, Dr. Dakwa. Now, was sending me a picture of Rwanda, a housing project. I will say, this is what Rwanda is doing for its citizens in rural areas. They call them model villages. Each family gets a free furnished house, a dairy cow, poultry project, and irrigated land. These model villages have a school and clinic on site. This is real empowerment, not some propaganda. And the meaning say Rwanda, it looks really good. I mean, I'll forward a picture to you. Now, what Dr. Dakwa sent. We say, Obi, the knee-jerk approach towards issues of national interest is one of the main things bedeviling this country. We are busily discussing flood and its associated problems today because the rains are with us once again. Very soon the rains will be over and it will be business as usual. It's obvious we pay people with the taxpayers' money only to cruise around and talk big and talk with little or no work done. I may not be a crystal glazer, but trust me, we will be here next year discussing flood and loss of lives as well as properties of gargantuan amount on Saglemi housing project. We are just not serious as a country. Simple. Jomo, Pokwase Festus, and on the way up praying. Okay, now Drew Safo says chipboard is the name locally. Okay, I hear you. Thank you. Where's Obi? Ghana should look at container structures. They are modern, quick to put together, and cheaper. Another problem is the self-contained structures. Build high-rise unit 4 to 6 floors to save land and maximize on the number of units per plot. I think that the minister agrees with you, Ante L. We say, Obi, I want to advise the Honorable Minister to have State Housing Authority build more high-rises so as to help curb the deficit in housing. The population is growing, but we have limited land resources. Since most people are building single-family homes that takes care of just one family, we should make good use of our land. We should also think about vegetation as well. George Niokaite, Chicago. Where's Obi? There are no national problems. We only have local problems. If our local authorities continue to operate as they are doing now, not even all the oil from Saudi Arabia and Russia can abate the, quote, madness in spatial development in this country. Inti, Akwesi, thank you. Reiterating the relevance of MMDAs in this country. Good afternoon, Obi. If there is no dedicated funding for his ministry, then why keep it as a ministry? It doesn't make sense to me. The district assemblies can do the job of works and housing. So for me, it's a waste of our scarce resources. Angelo in Accra. Obi, good afternoon. District assemblies are ministries that are to work in concert to mitigate the perennial flooding in Accra and other big cities are just shifting blames. It's sad. I have a feeling not a single building will fall per the president directive. Mark my word. Kweku Owusu ewo koforidua and on the way our brain. Obi, the bane of our underdevelopment is dysfunctional MMDAs. Once we have a solution for this, development will kickstart rapidly from bottom to the top. Our MMDA's appointment must change. It should be open for election and qualification criteria must be very stringent. Thank you for your message as well. Where's Obi? The flooding in Accra is not about building on waterways. It is filth. Yoku from Jowolo. Let me see the other ones we have here. Where's Obi? The Works and Housing Minister, the past Works and Housing Minister Samuel Atachia said that the redevelopment of the Nima and Mamobi area will give meaning and beauty to the president vision of inner city and Zongo development. Obi, do you remember this promise by Atachia? The future is pregnant. Prince Henry Ewokoforidia. Obi, okay, that's Gastiman. Nyabotre. Obi, please ask Honorable Asenso if there is a problem with Saglemi, is it being investigated? What of the Otum 482 housing in Kumasi? It appears it has been completed but not in use. Nana Amponsa Bidiako Edie Shalom Obi. A strange building in Ghana is too expensive. I'm a real estate developer in Ghana with building plans from Finland.
Ekosiisen
I wish I can tell you the
Asenso-Boakye.
frustration I go through by renting my houses for 6 months. Some tenants are difficult to deal with. Charlie. Now they put a 6 months. Hey, 6 months they got what don't go for. Wow. This one says that I think you should allow the minister to tell the good people of this country what the 450 million Ghana cedis was used for, which particular project and which areas was it used. Ghanaians want to know because we haven't seen the impact. Alhaji Hamza, the minister has gone through the list of some of the project. Obi, I don't agree with the minister about the rental issue. I'm doing some project in Ghana. My aim is to rent it 1 month rent and 2 months security because it is hard for beginners to get 2 years deposit. Hey, so there are some papa. Because there was only needing come because we to see the amount 1 month rent there.
That's why it's a commercial, so you should do it and make his money. Yeah.
Wow. 1 month they not over 1 call for power. Then the whole unique selling proposition, no. Say oh the ultimate see diamond 1 month. That should be some really good news. Really, really good news. We say Obi, please, so why are MPs giving 2 years rent or it has also stopped? Is it not against the law? So if the lawmakers are breaking the law, then what do you expect citizens to do? That's an interesting one. Charles Phobia and on the way up. Ekosiisen higher Sempa 94.7 FM. Many honorable minister in charge of Works and House and MP for Bantama constituency and Edinko. We are just about wrapping up on today's interview. Kofi Ameya will say, Obi, please tell Honorable Asenso that he's doing very, very well. We said, good afternoon, Obi, my brother. I'm pleading with the Greater Accra NPP delegate. They should vote for these people who can help the region. Okay, Odaila Ipaka and Rahel Tutu and Grace Achampo. I hear you. Kofigo and Udiwe Abba. Kofigo Yadase. Papa. Good afternoon, Obi. What is the ministry doing about landlords and landladies taking 2 years rent? Some Tuga in Alajo, Honorable Iyano Dada. We say, Obi, there is no need for dialogue with anyone as far as destruction of the forest, land and water bodies are concerned. We cannot deprive our future generations of their livelihood. Greetings to Honorable Alexander Kwame Nafenyomakin and Kwame Opasco Ewo in Sawim and on the way our brain. Honorable Inti, finally answer your message to Ghanaians
on Asenso-Boakye
because after the June and July. What would you tell the Ghanaian people at here when we
Yo, Obi Midase, my message is simple. Any diem. I'm say what a nyoma bakwa ya na di nya wo Africa. And he say yes bibia ya ban. Bibia ya ban. Enti no bi wo kra na ade a eso no 200 mon na wo the blame government. Kwame ye kozu ko abroche. Abrofon krai say wo school weekend bia no obekwa akopa adwuma bi wo restaurant bi no a paper form.
Yeah.
So when I mean was Cassadine, Papa was Cassadine, she thinks or he thinks that she has to contribute.
Yeah.
Oh, there is some sort of personal responsibility within their system. Ahano, inibisa. Entino, bakron all tungura egunsium no. Unim se and non ultimately no, and the contribute to. Timesre say everybody ewo asede say esoso ye towards the development of our country. Enwuru na ye tugu form, ye tugu ensuo mesre amafo say yesi honkon. Mesre media for say mommo ho daro. Edan ya yesi ewo nsuo mu no. Mesre say ye njai. Me giri say obia ye na djuma say de say ye na aban so ye ne dia. Me giri say ye puntu no ne enkoso na ye pe o Ghana ha na ebibrem no me gidi say e be koso asen say the pace e koso sesi and so that's my short message for my listeners.
Wow, enti omonso obviously o madan esisi waterways mu no. Because for them no insuo to bia na omonsa den omonso no egujem. Enti if they are listening to you, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, we don't seem to have any other choice. As a paper before na do no because the papa kuno no kwa sabi ahotre anaso ho kwa satisfaction bi na or onya, but ono kwa satisfaction no is a hindrance or is a problem for the rest of the world. I mean, the country. And you know, I will advocate for that if that is possible.
Agencies under your ministry, meaning PWD, agency being you.
Rent control. AESL.
Oh, AESL.
Yeah,
okay.
State housing is a commercial.
Yeah, state housing. State housing is an agency under you, but I'm more pretty as
it's a limited liability company. In fact, AESL so is a limited liability company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but they all report to the Minister of Works and Housing, right?
Yes, operationally and financially to Ministry of Finance and the SIGA public enterprises.
Yeah. But state housing seems to be doing well. Secret near then.
I think it's management. Before the president assumed office, state housing was virtually dead. The workers there were not being paid and all that until this young man who the president brought from the US. At that time, he was working for Fannie Mae, who are involved heavily in housing finance and all that. And he's been using internally generated funds to oh yeah and I've been even after speaking in the government circles saying given what they are doing with these limited funds, they can do a lot.
No, but and that's a good point. On the Pokwasi Amasaman project, why not hand it over to them then? That would be another way to build on.
They will certainly be part of the developers.
Okay.
Yeah, but you see, we are government, and we deal with government companies and private sector. Yeah. You can say the state house and private sector or and now there will be a woman do a competition. It leads to efficiency and all that. And I wouldn't want to give everything to state housing, but private developers, we will also have the capacity. State housing, I believe that they have to start kakra because I don't think that they have a lot of money to start mass construction at the moment.
Yeah.
unless government, which is the shareholder, provides some money.
Provide the capital.
Yeah.
Okay, very well. In the PWD, so what to say?
Yeah, PWD. In fact, PWD first, it was the foremost infrastructure company for the country. In fact, it's probably the oldest company, institution in Ghana, the department in Ghana. First in road construction, it was formed in 18th century.
Wow.
Yeah. So what happened was that it was formed in 1890 something. What happened was that first, over time, Ministry of Roads, Highways, year from, first transport, airport, it was time, you see, the only manage government bungalows now, public officials team. You see, no one or more.
Repairs be no makoye.
Exactly, one manage repairs be and the crown is hard. They hardly get the funds to do it. So I've started the process. I would have wished to say, "Come back here, process need baby and commit to me." And I announcement. I don't want to preempt it, but I'm speaking actively engaging government on it for some changes to be made there so that it can properly function as
the kind of changes would lead into us seeing PWD on by almost be competing for public works and PWD
to be well, their operations are different from State House. Okay. State House is a developer, they construct. But State House, Public Works Department, what I'm looking at to be a state-of-the-art facility management company.
Okay.
Just like we have broad money at this. That's what I'm looking at. But I haven't got into a state that I can make a public announcement.
But almost staff near the didn't
solid. Her expertise, power, more is amazing.
PWD, and
that is why I'm encouraged to do something to revamp the institution to a state of the art facility management institution.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The whole penny or down where?
They know a core time is see a young lady bina or artist or architect or
you appoint the head of that institution. And the president does that through you.
Well, it's the government. The government, yeah.
Okay. Well, now I asked that question because we all knew the state of an institution, be to say Ghana Publishing Company, for example. Now they have a great story to tell. Maybe 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you bet me who PWD doing that. It will depend on the leadership.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
Very well. Honorable, my nurse and the fancy, I'm running to Bibiani, we wish you very well.
Thank you very much.
Sure. It is the Honorable Francis Asenso-Boakye, a Works and Housing Minister, MP for the Bantama constituency. Ekosiisen.